afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Corner with the Conn Man on the Sports Wave Network. I am honored to have as my guest Brittany Garnetto. Brittany, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Now, folks, for those of you who may or may not know, I don't know who Brittany is. And that's what I like about my show because I look on Facebook and find people who are doing great things who don't necessarily want or need praise or approval, but I see what you're doing, and I said, I got to have her on my show. And I got a funny feeling with the Ganettos and the Consacios. I think there's a mix. I think we have some family involved. But anyway, Brittany, I want to thank you for coming on my show. As you may or may not know, I've been doing this for a little while. I got a little experience, and I like doing what I do. I love doing what I do, and I love to recognize others. And today is your day, so girl, let the folks know a little bit about your history, your grind, your journey.
It's so funny, but it's like, where do I start? So yes, so Brittany Ganetto, born and raised in New Bedford. So went to New Bedford High School. Once I graduated from New Bedford High School, I'm also an alumni from UMass Dartmouth. And that's where I think you picked up on my story a little bit, but it's how I pretty much really got into the whole cleaning saga. So I started off where I was, so let me just back up a little bit. The owner of Newbie Cleaning. So it's a residential and commercial cleaning company.
Mm-hmm.
And I also am a real estate agent in this area. I've worn many hats throughout my career, but I didn't just start here. So I started cleaning UMass Dartmouth dorms for their summer program that they had. Worked my way up to working for their house and facilities and worked in the back office for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then post graduation from UMass Dartmouth, I actually landed a career with Frito-Lay. So I worked with PepsiCo Frito-Lay for about 7 to 8 years. And I started off as an intern with them my junior year. And fun fact is that I was able to implement a process that was able to help them win an award that they had been trying to achieve for like 10 years. And I did it in 2 weeks. And so I came
Wow.
back. And I was their facilities operations manager for this entire coastal zone. I then was their facilities operations manager for Boston. And then I had the opportunity to move away and go down to Florida, where I launched 3 of their facilities out there. And then when I came back, I worked for Amazon. And I was right before I really figured out that I wanted to really get into the business for myself. I was Amazon's regional learning manager. So I was 1 in 26 in the country. I'm a person that also helped launch and bring COVID back and bring most of our facilities back up off the ground. So yeah, that's me.
You got me kind of speechless right now, and I'm always one I can talk smack. I can't say a damn thing right now. Uh, what gave you this inspiration or desire to do what you do?
Um, Honestly, I really don't know. It's interesting that you say that, but it was around my like sophomore, junior year of college where I actually met his name is Earl P. Charlton the fourth. And he is they're one of the founders of the Charlton School of Business. And he owns all of the Ross stores down in the South and everything like that. And he sat around a round table and he asked me, like, what do I want to do? And I don't know how it rattled like off my tongue, but I said I wanted to economically rebuild the city of New Bedford. Had no idea why and how I was going to get there. But I knew that God had a plan for that. Especially because ever since I was younger, I've been involved throughout my entire life in multiple different things, you name it. So I was involved in the 4-H club and did all that stuff. I'm an Upward Bound alumni. So I've always had some form of a niche to it, but never really knew what it really meant and where it was going to take me. Yeah.
Wow. Again, I'm speechless. So let's go through your journey. You went to New Bedford High School,
Mm-hmm.
and let's talk about your journey.
Okay. So yep. So went to New Bedford High School, Tan House. And so
Well, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
and so what was interesting about my journey at New Bedford High School is that a lot of people some that really really know me but don't really know that is I experienced a really really traumatic situation in my life where my brother he was involved in a car accident and became paralyzed from the neck down when I was about, I want to say, a freshman in high school. And it pretty much perpetuated me to one is really build such a strong relationship with God, and understand that there is something that's there and to really be able to clip to that. I was involved in multiple different churches, so I'll give a huge shout out to the Goodine family that really like kind of took me under their wing, especially Kathy Goodine and my best friend Shanika Goodine, right? And so I was able to really clip to them, and specifically also the late Thomas Bolger, right? And so my family's around there, and really they really helped me just kind of just stay to where I was at, but also build this relationship with God and really stay rooted in that and give me that hope and that inspiration to the point where I'll never forget there was around that time that was happening, and I was in a very 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 dark place, not understanding why things were happening. I was 15 years old. My life changed in 24 hours. And I was able to, there was a pastor that talked about believe the impossible, see the invincible, and achieve the incredible. And I literally have made that my mantra throughout, I mean, everything. You think about it from high school to now college, and now even where I'm at now, is you heard me even say it on my video. And that's where it really was birthed from. It was birthed from a very, very dark space. And by the grace of God, I watched him just consistently just bless me in every aspect of my life. So I'm in high school, and I'm just not even realizing and thinking that I'm gonna even be able to get to college. I'll never forget the time that I got a phone call from UMass Dartmouth, and they were like, "Hey, you're $10,000 like short to be able to make it here." I'm like, "That's not 1,000. Like, I can't pull that from anywhere." And I just remember just consistently stating where I was like, I don't care. God's got me. I'm getting out of here. I need to figure it out. I need to be able to, I know that God's got me. And I used to consistently tell that. I remember my aunt coming up to me. I used to also work at Carney Academy Daycare. So I'm a cousin of Herbert Waters. And so that was my first boss. And so, yeah.
That's
And trust me, I think that's where I get a lot of my some people joke with me where they're like, is that where you're a little meticulous? I'm like, maybe, in certain things, but they really, specifically my aunt Ella, she really kind of just really reined me in. She was like, are you sure? And I was like, I think that God got me. And she really had the rest. She helped me get through the rest, and really was someone that was able to help mentor me and sit me down and just really sit in peace with that. And I'll tell you right now, I'm like, I didn't go. I went to college. I still said I'm going. I went to orientation, did what I had to do. And I didn't know a dime. I didn't know not a dime. I have now, will say that I went through my complete undergraduate career. Granted, I have loans and I have all those things, but nothing that was able to prohibit me from actually being able to make it and succeed. And so my degrees, actually, I have multiple degrees as an undergraduate. I have a full BS in operations management. I have a minor in information systems. And then I also have a minor in African American studies. And so, yeah. And so I got to the point where I was like, hey, like, what can I do? Now I'm in Frito-Lay and I'm making such a splash and an impact. And I'm so big on education. Is when then I happen to be in Boston, where I pick up the fact where I'm like, I want to go back for my MBA. And a lot of people were like, "Are you sure? Is that something that you want to do?" And I said, "I think I can be able to teeter this line. I plan on moving to Florida." And what the crazy part about is that they talk about writing things down, being very intentional with what your purpose is, being speaking that, right? Is that I wish I had the documents, but back in 2011, and God is great again, my start date for Frito-Lay is 1/11/11. Okay, is that's what my start date is for Frito-Lay. And they asked, like, can you write down your goals and your aspirations? And I'm in this major corporation, and I write down I want to travel to Florida, learn as much as I can, and bring it back to my city so that way I can ingrain it into and help it economically rebuild. Didn't know why, and I still knew that I was saying that, but I really theoretically didn't know what it meant. So I start working for Frito-Lay, and that's when I then enrolled into the University of Phoenix. And I actually graduated with my MBA. I have not just an MBA, I also am a certified project manager. So in 2016, I actually graduated and did that. And then that's when Frito-Lay asked me, they were like, "Hey, I have a bold idea for you. I need you to come down and come take a look at one of our warehouses." I said, "Okay." And the mini joke that they had was they used to call me the process killer. I can theoretically see business and shift and change it in an aspect that I don't even understand sometimes how. They said that they had a major bottleneck. So if everyone's thinking of like what happened at Frito-Lay, was that the how you efficiently now get your 20 count little sacks and your 50 count boxes and all that other stuff was I actually physically rebuilt the facility down south, to the point where I went, scouted the land, developed the team, built the entire infrastructure. Yeah, to the point where some of it was like, I see bald eagles in certain areas, and I was a little upset. But yeah, so I actually have had that experience and completely built out their entire warehouse, and then on top of that, changed and trained their entire operation to be able to handle all the volume for the entire East Coast. And so it gave me the momentum. But at this point, and as you heard, kind of what you clipped from my video, is that I was working 90 to 100 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Kept consistently saying to myself, if my brain works this way for myself, like, I mean, for someone else, what could it really do for me? Like, what could I really do for myself? Like, how could I continue to reward that? So it got to a point where I did leave Frito-Lay and I launched Newbie Cleaning actually in Florida. And I launched it once again with intention that I was going to make this an East Coast thing. Named it so that way it was branded in the South to actually come back here to then bring it back to the South. What interrupted that a little bit was that my grandmother was sick and she requested that I come home. But I think that was God, right? I went through a period in time where should I leave? Shouldn't I leave? Shouldn't I birth this? And I actually started fasted so that way I could really get some form of clarity. And so that's when, I mean, things just started to loosen up and they started to break. And I ended up coming back here. And, we all go through these phases where doubt creeps in, the fear, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? And so I had all these degrees and I had all these titles. And so I said, well, let me go back into corporate. I lasted in corporate for about a year. It wasn't until a year and a half. It wasn't until I will never forget this time I read an article by Jeff Bezos, and it was talking about how he is completely inclined by the entrepreneurial spirit and everyone needs to get out of the rat race. It was about getting out of the rat race. And I couldn't but reading that article, feel convicted, like as if I was one of the rats, like, right? Like you're just doing mindlessly in a certain place and you're not necessarily happy, banging against things. And it was the way that they described themselves in this article. I started to really dig deep into Jeff Bezos' story to understand that Amazon has failed and has been non-profitable for about 10 years. I started to really dig into the history of what Jeff Bezos did. And we had a thing at Amazon where all your desks were made out of doors because he worked his operation. So he didn't have the funds to be able to purchase, the materials and everything like that for the offices. So he made them out of doors. So they were called the desk doors. And that's still, even as big as Amazon is, it still ranged true to his aesthetic. To all the offices are still built with door desks, right? And so it's what really kind of perpetuated me, where I was like, you know what, I need to make this change. It was a point where I also had been given the opportunity to start to grant things, because I also was the East Division point for Frito-Lay, but also for Amazon for DEI. And so before DEI was even DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, it was D&I, just diversity and inclusion. And I led that for half the country for Frito-Lay. And so that got to a point where it was like, I will never forget reaching out to Jen DeBarros and being like, hey, I have this grant that's out there. They're trying to, they want to start to award funds for a local organization. And I didn't have influence in that award. And I was like, hey, like, I don't think I'm theoretically, one, I'm in this rat race. Mm-hmm. Two, I don't have influence over anything. And after, I'll be quite honest with you, after sitting down for 45 days straight and developing COVID's plan on how we got back up as a country, I finally decided that I said, hey, I think I really need to start to work and do something else for myself. I think I need to make this direct impact. I need to switch gears, and I need to really dig deep into that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Now you've seen me I've been home from Florida for the past like 4.5 years. But you now are starting to see me come out over these last 2, where I've now launched New Beat Cleaning, and I'm really out in the community. Yeah. Any questions, Mike? Just kidding.
Brittany, I'm at a loss for words. What? There's got to be something inside. Was it family members or something that brought you to the? Because something. A lot of people are scared to try, and they don't take that opportunity. You have to reach out and take that risk. What made you decide? Okay, you in Florida, you're doing the damn thing, you're doing everything, but you want to come back here and do something where quiet as kept. A lot of our people are not very conducive to our own doing well. So explain to me how you knew, because I know when you came in here and took on that responsibility, how was that going to affect the way you did or what you are doing with your new ownership of what you're doing right now?
So it was a little bit of a twofold, right? I've known that this is my purpose. And then also too is that it's not the first time that I've had to cut the edge into something, right? Going out into Florida to take that risk, knowing no one. I was there by myself. I was only there with one of my best friends, but she was all the way in Tampa. And having to take that risk and having to understand that. But I have a saying, and I had to really, really, really clip to God. But I think also too is that I'll take a little bit back of my history, right? My history, I come from a family of lineage of pioneers, right? My family is one of the first 20 African-American families established in Massachusetts. The bloodline that comes from that is Eleanor Morton, Herbert Waters, and so there's a plethora of multitude of different folks. So, and fortunately, Eleanor Morton was my preschool teacher. right? And so she was the one that was like really like very very cultivating and specifically on my education. And then I had Uncle Bert, right? And so they've consistently nurtured and mold and did that, the molding
Right.
of that. But my family is very supportive. I call them the Joseph clan. And so they're, I mean, the whole Joseph team is very very supportive. We support each other no matter what. But we come from a long lineage of just pioneers. And I think for myself is that I understood the assignment. And I understood the assignment that I know that this wasn't going to be easy. I get it every day, but I also have a genuine humbleness to myself and a genuine care that this isn't about me, right? I can, because I think I've been conditioned now at this point. I The reason why no one knows all the different facets of the fact that I ran the entire coastal zone is because I was in Rhode Island doing that. So I've had to cut that edge and do that and do that. So for myself, one is that you'll notice is that I'm not coming here and throwing on a cape. This is your first time even you hearing that, right? I'm not, there's a mutual respect for the fact that there are folks that are already in place. There are folks that maybe theoretically aren't. And then it's how can I assist and how can I help? The biggest
Right.
thing that you'll see that in too is that buy black MB, right? I love my dear friend Justina Perry, love her to pieces, and loved her. I was watching what she was doing down in Florida. I came back here. She's probably the first person and the only person I clicked to, and I was like, I just want to do and help you. That's what I said to her. She's like, you want to help? Like, you want to, and it was an all full genuineness of my heart. I genuinely just wanted to help. So the gala that we put on, those different types of things, helping with the committee, helping with the vendor, that's where I was like, hey, I just want to help. This credit isn't for me to get due, right? It's to be able to
Right.
help build the community. It's to be able to, it's bigger than me. I just recently was just at the Future of New Bedford's basketball camp, had the opportunity to see all the amazing things that like Jordan Pina and Matt Hill and those folks are doing there with their basketball camp. And it was just so nostalgic to me. But it's to realize that like it's bigger than me. I could not like what's happening. You could not like what I'm doing. But really and honestly, it has nothing to do with me at the end of the day. Really.
Now, Brittany, I have to interrupt you. Can you do me a favor? Can you speak a little louder? Because every time I do my show, somebody calls and my volume goes down, and I don't know why. So if you could, I got a little surprise for you. If you could put your volume up, I got a little surprise for you.
Okay. I can speak louder.
Thank you. It seems like every time I do my show, no matter what time somebody calls, and for some reason, well, my volume goes down. It's happened. You mean to hear my guess? I got a surprise for you. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that's in short though, Mike. Like, is that it's bigger than me. This is a team effort, and as a community, I know exactly what you're saying, and we can't continue to play the I may get a little slack for this, but the crabs in a bucket mentality. That can't happen. Like that can't happen. Why? Because we have so many different things that are happening in this
Right.
city. We should be blessed traveling outside of New Bedford, and they don't know about us. But I'm like, we're the richest city in the world. I got bragging rights. I'm like, I got all this happening, and they're not really realizing, not realizing the culture. I have a challenge for everyone that's even like listening to this. When's the last time you said, I'm just gonna take a walk downtown? I'm just gonna walk around. Nah, oh, I've been here. I know what's down there, blah, 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 blah. Right? When's the last time that you have said, I'm just gonna walk around downtown and just enjoy the presence, enjoy the moment, enjoy the different changes that are happening? Because it's here. History for the third time is going to be made. That is a fact. And the question is are you going to be here to witness it, to tell that story and know all the pieces? Or are you going to be hearing it firsthand? And then on top of it, are you going to be a part of the solution to help build, or are you going to be a part of the problem where things start to get teared down, and now all you're doing is just making the noise? So it's like, what side of the fence do you really fall on? Is to be honest with you. But I think why I have the knack for it is that I have had the opportunity to go into places where Jesus wasn't liked either. So you know what? If I'm not too, it's just, it is what it is. So I do have that mentality. I truly have that mentality, and I've learned to not take it personal and to really just let it roll. Yeah.
Well, Brittany, you know, I know you don't know who I am or too much about me, but I give out recognition awards. I think I'm up to about 350, and I do my annual Thanksgiving Eve recognition awards at the Boys and Girls Club in New Bedford, and I'm here now to let you know you are the recipient of one of my recognition awards, which will be giving out Thanksgiving Eve at the New Bedford Boys and Girls Club with astounding recipients. And I just want to congratulate you for what you do. And I wish someone didn't call in so I could, explain it even louder, but you'll be recognized because I see what you do and what you're doing. And it's my mission to recognize others. So, folks, congratulate Brittany Canetta as she will be receiving mine and also the city of New Bedford recognition award for all that she does for the city and what she's done for the community. So there you go. Here's my
Yeah.
roses to you and my flowers. But getting back again, because that person called in, I really can't hear you that well. So we're going to try to do it again. So do me a favor. While I go up and come back, let the viewers know exactly what you're doing and how you started the business and what your mission is and all that. I got to bounce out so I can come back. Let the folks know about you. I'll bounce right back. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So, like Mike said, a little bit about myself. Like, Newbie Cleaning was actually established um, in Florida. One of the big things that kind of helped us to be able to catapult was really being here in New Bedford. We had our struggles, we had our ups and downs, but we're a residential and commercial cleaning company. How we got started was just really is kind of working through some of the challenges, especially while I was in corporate. I realized that, hey, this is something that I definitely can do on my own, and I definitely can make a difference and make a staple. And so, a little bit of, I think, what everyone's, and I get this question a lot, right? Of why cleaning, like why that, why this. And so I actually hold one of the a record in this area in the entire South Coast for unannounced AIB audits. What that is that it's called the American Bakers Institution audit. And so for all my warehouse folks that are looking for cleaners and those type of things, I'm that person. So what it is that the FDA had announced that we're going to start to go and we're going to come and inspect the buildings unannounced. You won't know about them.
Uh-huh.
Inspections. And so I said, and this was back in 2012. So I implemented about 4 different processes that went across 3 different areas of the supply chain: North Kingstown, Cranston, and Picasset. And that's down in the Cape. And I had them come in and come take a look at our buildings one day. They just show up, white coats and everything like that. And I have the highest record. So I have a 990 out of 1,000, which means it's pretty much a perfect score that they couldn't give me. And I was like, I'll take the perfect score. But they had to find something. But that's I really do. I have a 990. And so my buildings, like people used to be like, Brittany, you can like eat off a warehouse floor in here. And I was like, but I had a method to my madness, right? Is that it's ownership. It shows ownership. If my team is cleaning every single night, they're doing their thing, they're consistently maintaining something, that's ownership. So then I would start bartering with my team. I'd be like, listen, if I'm not paying a cleaning crew to clean this warehouse, we'll take that money and go have fun. So then that's what I used to do with them. So then what we would end up doing is they would have the opportunity. We used to do a lot of things, specifically within Frito Lay. I mean, and it was all team building, team activities. I mean, there have been my guys have been blessed with the fact that there have been times where we've taken them to Foxwoods. We've done a bunch of different things just because I was just great at being able to just hit plan and nail plan. And so it was so that's kind of weird, really all birth. But also too, I had such this tribal knowledge. I mean, I come up from working with Antoinette Cabral and Pat Galazza and Trish Galazza and that team of women, right? And so of Lorraine Walker, right? Of being able to just, yeah, sit in. That's who I worked with along the side every summer. So I had that opportunity to kind of sit with them, pick their brain. It's even to the point where a lot of the things that we even utilize are still some of their best practices. So it gave me the ability to dive into something, but also make it such a mark. And then also, I mean, not a lot of people think of this, right? So when you think about cleaning, you think about these things. And this is a thing in Florida. This isn't theoretically a thing up here, but it's like, how do you change the mindset? How do you make this a shift? But what is your quality of life, and like what do you really value? Right? Majority of us value our time, but
Yes.
at what point are you willing to expense that time? Right? And so like down in Florida, it's a thing. I'm going to skip out on Dunkin' Donuts and coffees and all these other things because I want my house clean because I'm not sitting in the house all day. That's the thing. Up here it's getting everyone acclimated with that type of process to understand that and know that, right? And know that like that's just that's the difference in where you're at, I think, regionally. But getting people to really buy into the fact that like this is not only just helping the community, but it's helping you. What about that single mom? What about that mom that is just had children, right? She just had children. So a lot of our hours are catered to the single to the mom, right? And work around the mom. One of the other things too is that we're working with Soraya Dos Santos and the Sacred Burden Village and women as far as that are coming into this country that need work. They need jobs, right? How can we prepare them so that way they can come and work for me? And one of the big things I get a lot is some people are like, "Oh, your pricing's off." It's like, "Oh, no, it's not." And the reason why it's not is because of the fact that my girls don't get paid by house; they get paid by hour, and they don't get paid minimum wage, regardless of their nationality. That is not my thing, right? And so my our goal for newbie cleaning is to be able to be able to provide an equitable wage for our employees, a great customer service experience, but also I want my employees to have a great experience. So I want them to feel full-hearted. I want them to feel fulfilled. I want them to be able to know that they work for a great place and that someone cares. They're not a number. And so we just as much as we work hard, we play hard. And I think that comes from my ingredient in with Pepsi. Pepsi we treats us great, right? As much as we're running through the paint and those different types of things. I heard my boss, one of my, I think the greatest people I've ever worked for. His name was Andy Lipka, and he was the director of Frito Lay in the Northeast region at one point. And he's the man that hired me. And he said, if you run through 2 brick walls for your team, 20, they'll run through 20 for you, right? And so my team, that day that you seen in that video, I had worked from 6:30 a.m. till 2:30 a.m. for 10 days straight with them, along the side of them. It wasn't just, hey, we're here, we got all these jobs, I'm going to go to a temp agency, I'm going to throw all this labor at it, we're going to downplay this, we're going to water this down. It's no, I'm right here. I'm digging in the paint with you. We're going right hard to it. And then that way we're building the best practices, and I appreciate you just 20 times more than you appreciate me. And so, and it's a relationship. It's working through that as a relationship. So that's why I think what makes us so important. So when people are always asking these questions, and I mean, yes, it's a given, right? We're licensed, we're insured, we're bonded. And because I do have the knowledge I have, I do have one of the highest premiums just knowing what I need to acquire because I knew what I needed to hire, right? At a certain point. So I can bid at anything I want, but I've learned the slow and steady approach and just really being able to build the team, build their camaraderie, build them up as individuals and as people. And so that's kind of where really that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes our structure different, because we're not just here providing a service for you. And it's in really and honestly, when we're in an epidemic as far as mental health is concerned. Should you sit in the house and be cleaning on your day off? That's a real question. Like, should you be doing that? There's no shame in no one's game that they're enjoying life while someone else is getting, making their life great for their family,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
we're all just washing each other's hands. And
Exactly.
yeah, and so I think that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us different, is that we're here to really help alleviate the mind and have the mind think different. Think about it. Like when you walk into a clean space, how healthy do you really feel? You feel it. Like it's a total release. And so yeah, I think that's what makes us different. That's what we're at. We want to be able to provide that, not only just for and and then also too, with my background, I'm a certified project manager. So the type of things that I come into a commercial space is that they don't need to create you're hiring me where I'm creating your master sanitation schedule, not you. I'm the one that's doing that. I'm the one that's putting together your spreadsheet so that I'm tracking all your business and I'm doing all that for you. So specifically, we have a contractor where we turn over all of their vacation homes consistently, or their text homes. I created that because you're that's what you're hiring. That's the type of level of service that you're hiring. You're not just hiring someone that's like, oh, okay, I'm here to show up to clean. What do you need me to clean? Yeah.
Brittany, again, I'm at a loss for words, but I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm like, yeah, why do I work for Brittany or clean houses? That's beneath me. That's below me. Why would I want to do that? What's your response?
Then it's not for you. To be honest with you, this is probably the Herbert Waters coming out in me, right?
Oh, watch out, y'all.
Right? Is the tough ship, is that like, then it's just not for you, right? Every single one of my girls like to clean, to the point where there's days that I have to be like, this is not your house. If I ask them what they did on the weekend, they clean their house while they clean. And I'm like, and to your point, that person that's saying that's below me, that's beneath me, I don't want to do this, they're going home and they're like, I'm not cleaning after I just been cleaning all day. That's what they're saying. But because that's what they're saying, they don't like this. And it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Which is why I'm very, very, very stingent on my hiring process. I would rather run really, really skeleton crew, work 120 hours a week, burnt out, and my whole family's telling me that I need to go take a break, than me just hire the wrong person. And the reason is because, first off, I'm trusting you in someone's home. Second off, I'm trusting you in someone's home, right? Like, it's those two different things. And then the other piece is that we need to be able to provide a quality service. There's certain we do things differently. Even the way that I charge differently. I'm not going to go on air as to how I charge, right? But I charge per room, right? I charge differently. Why? Because I'm literally consistently just covering all bases. And so it's not a time limit. I don't have somebody in there just rushing to get done. And I've consistently just scoped out the project. I got them on 4 to 5 different houses and they only have a 2 hours time limit. That's not what I'm doing. I want them to be honest, is to clean their home, clean clean whoever's space like it's theirs. Like you
Right.
need to take ownership. Yeah. So they're not my employee.
Now, how many operations do you run, and how many employees do you have under you?
So currently right now I have 7. And this is probably this year has been amazing. It's probably been it's been the slow and steady, but it's been the biggest boom. And what I mean by that is that I pretty much, I think consistently since April, I have I've run anywhere from 2 to 3 different shifts, and I have been running where they're at least doing 3 assignments a day. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. And that's Sunday. I mean, my Saturdays and Sundays are a little bit slower, but they're working Sunday through Saturday. Not all of them, but staggered shifts so that they each get their break off and stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah. I'm open. I do have cleanings going out Sunday through Saturday. Yeah.
That is incredible. Now, what is like your 5-year mission? Tough question, I know.
No, not really. And the reason that it's not, right? And the reason why I say that is because I was blessed to go through EFRL, and that is one of the things that we do have to scope, right? Is what is your 5-year plan? What is your 10-year plan?
Mhm.
But strategically, I operate in silos that way. So I operate that way. If you ever even book with me, you'll notice you're booked 3 months out. I operate in increments because I'm very forward thinking. Like I said, it's back to intentionality for me. So I will consistently put it out there, and I know it's going to happen. So I projected that this year was going to be my biggest, was going to triple. If I was to actually go back and if we could share screens and I could show you what my 5-year plan looked like from EFRL, I'm actually living it in year 2.5 right now. But if you would have asked me 5 years from now, is that I am completely running a singular team in New Bedford, in Rhode Island, and I'm getting ready to launch back down in Florida. And reason being is that in Florida, I was covered. I actually, when we first started cleaning, and it was just myself, and there was a lot of opportunity. So I give great credit to the fact when I came back here, I took my break. I partnered with EFRAL. I was able then to really dig in, figure it out, and really was then able to be awarded through NB100, which was phenomenal. Like that just was such a game changer for me. And then really start to build my infrastructure. But it's to really be able to cover that base. Last year, we were only in business for a year in this area, and we were the top 4, top 3 cleaning company in the South Coast. And so my goal is to be number 1. I want, and not be number 1 in a fact where it's like I just want that. I want to just be known as, we just provide an amazing service. We have amazing people that work for us. And we're also providing jobs, like jobs that people wouldn't want to work, jobs that women that are coming into this country, that's what they left behind. That's what they know, what they're great at. And being able to give them that opportunity for something for their family. And so it's that. And then on top of it, if I was to really think about that, I want you to be able to, I have this crazy vision of what my vans are going to look like, and they're going to be purple because I'm obnoxious with purple. So I want to have my Barney vans out there, and I want you to see I want to have 5 newbie cleaning vans, and they're bright purple, and you're like, oh my God, that color is so ugly. And I'm like, that's why you need to hire us, because it caught your attention. And so, right. And so it's that. It's being able to, but my real main focus in the next like 5 years is to have a team independently working in New Bedford to cover the South Coast here, and then also have an entire team, which people have been reaching out to me on what that team looks like in Rhode Island already. Um, and have a hub in Rhode Island and be geared up to get ready to go back and really launch in Florida. Yeah.
And Brittany, let me tell you something. When I saw you on Facebook, I had an idea. I didn't know it was like this. And I'm so proud of what you're doing. And the fact that a lot of my guests I like to have make an impact. And also y'all making an impact. And the most important thing is, as you know, a lot of young women or older women do not have employment. And that's what I think is important for out here in the South Coast area, people to be able to be independent and work for a living and not depend on anybody else but themselves. And that's kind of why I wanted you on the show. I know you're all set, but it's about paying back or paying it forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because I would say, and it's just like exactly what you say, and that, and why I talked about the van pieces, because that is a bottleneck, right? Like you have, I get it all the time where I have all these people that come to me and want to work for me, but then in a sense they don't drive, they don't have the transportation, so it's really trying to solve for that, and that's why I said that it's that's on my forefront right now.
Right.
But knowing that it's going, and that's the major component to the expansion, because it's being able to get them to places. And some of these women that I get, they didn't even drive in their own countries, right? And so to even expect that is like no. But how can I make sure that I at least like am looking for that and solving for that? One of the things that I did not talk about is that I also am involved. I was like, I talked about being involved with Buy Black NB, but I also am involved. I'm a board member for the Cape Verdean Recognition Association.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you really?
Yeah, yeah, and that's something that I decided that I really wanted to do. I will never forget having that conversation with my dad and being like, "Hey, I really want to do this." And God is amazing, right?
Yep.
Because I'm at a training, and who do I meet at this training? And grant you, Ivan's grown up with my whole family, and I have no idea. And Ivan is in this training, and we're talking and having this conversation, and he's like, we're actually taking applications for board members. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, we just opened it up. Like, such a conversation. But I that's another thing. Like, I challenge that about the not being a part of the problem and being a part of the solution.
Exactly.
We need volunteers. Like, we need
Yep.
volunteers. We need people that want to sit on the committee. We need people that want to help. We need those different types of things. So like, it's not a closed door policy. It's not something that's closed door and it's like hush hush hush. But it's, I get it, right? It's a little intimidating at times. It's like, how do I navigate to find the who and who and who and who?
Right.
And so I'm working on some solutions with the team. We're working on some solutions to be able to figure out how do we solve for that piece, because we've heard the community loud and clear. But I just want to like really just give that plug, like, hey, like if you find something to be a problem, be the solution. Go join, like go out there. There's a committee, there's everything for that, right? And so you can make that change. You can, but you have to do it in the right voice and in the right light. And so yeah, so being a part of the board, I think is, and as we start to make different changes and those different types of things, but not just there, right? We just had, and why I said like walk the city in New Bedford, New Bedford just had the first film festival out here, right? There are film directors and people that I was meeting, and I'm also a part of that board as well. And they just like just the essence that Ethan Aguiar was able to just be able to just amplify, right? People never knew about New Bedford, and you have people that are now, Ethan has us winning awards and stuff like that in Portugal to learn and traveling here, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I just want to continue. If I can just leave it with this, right? And leave, and we're not, I know we're not fully wrapping up yet, but like just leave it where it's like, if you there is an opportunity for everyone to make this impact, and you have to be able to get into the mindset that, is this about you, or is this about what is around you, like what's around the city? And if you don't like something, then be a part of the solution and change it, because there's someone that's going to listen to you, like they grant you. And if there isn't, maybe gut check yourself and be like, did I say it right? I don't know if you did or not, but just get in. I mean, there's no harm in foul in getting involved, and I think that that goes a long way. And Mike, I'm easy to tread water that lightly. Like, I'm not the type to be, let's just put on the cape and, do that. Great book to help you navigate through that is Leader Without a Title. It teaches you the leader without a title. It teaches you that you don't need the title. You can make the impact. You can make the splash. You can do those different types of things, and you don't need to be the CEO. So
And Brittany knows something too, and all the viewers. A lot of the people who instituted the Cape Verdean Independence Day Parade, most of them are gone, or very few are still alive. So obviously they need the input of the youth to be inspired. And sometimes people think that you know always we need to do new things. We always want help. We always want people to come in and give new spirit, because the old people are gone. You know what I mean? And I know, because I'm always dirt, Brittany, and I know that all of my idols and my role models, male, female, are gone, are going away, and we need that new influx. We need that youth to give and inspire us to keep doing what we're doing. And I think you're one of them. And it's good to have people who are still inspired, but know the history. That's all my point is. But anyway, getting back to what you were saying, go ahead.
yeah, and you're right about that, is actually being able to like pay homage. But it's like, and we have the folks that are here that are doing that type of stuff. Like, so for I mean, my list can go on. You got Margarita Graham, that WMB1 Radio, that's doing all the things that they're doing, right? And so like it's there. It's just like, how do you really tap into, like, kind of like to want to be a part of that, be a part of the change, be a part of the influence, be a part of the change.
And how much are you willing to invest? Key.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I get it. Time is precious that you're never going to get back. But in a
Right.
sense, it's like, if you're intentional with what you're doing, right? And you're intentional with your time, and you're intentional with the pay it forward method, and you will reap the harvest. Like, the harvest will come. It's just, it's being able to, I mean, let's just keep it real, right? The trees that were planted, those all started from seeds. You had to do multiple things for that to happen, right? Like, land had to be tilled. Those different. You didn't just go pick the fruit. I mean,
That's
some of us are like, I went to an orchard on,
right. Right.
I did, and like got apples, but that didn't happen. Like, it's like, and it's, what are you really investing in? Like, what are you really investing in? And what are you willing to sacrifice a little here and there to be able to make that change and make that difference, Yeah.
But getting back, this is about you right now. The Cape Verdean Independence Day will be next Saturday. And matter of fact, tomorrow we have a dedication to the famous group of Tavares, which we can talk about that another time. But anyway, this is about you right now, and we have about 5 minutes. Is there anything that maybe, hey, Mike didn't ask me this. Maybe Mike should have asked me that. And maybe I should have said something about this. I usually end my shows with, is there something that I didn't ask, or something that maybe you wanted to convey to the viewers? And best believe this is going to be shown all over. So is there something that you could give a lasting impact? How can they contact you? Because I know people want jobs. How can they contact you? Where they can locate you, and any lasting words you can say before we got to bounce?
So one of the things that I think it's not necessarily, I think you asked a lot and I spoke about a lot. I think I can give as much as I can. I can continue to keep going in every different angle.
I know.
But yeah, but the real thing I think like maybe asking is that like what next? Right? Am I what next? And really I think like what my what next is how can I really start to bridge different generational gaps and really start to tear different things down. Um,
Mm,
and
mm.
that is from a, if everyone, and I'll hit it right at the nail, is born in the West End, can go from the West to the South. And really, how can I start to crack open a different form of Pandora's box for the city? Um, so that that way,
Woo.
and really magnify and amplify unity. And so that's my next, I think, endeavor. I haven't, I'm a very methodical person, so to tell you how it all the pieces will fall together as far as that's concerned, I don't really know yet. But I know God will put that there. I know He'll lead me to the right people. I know that I'll have definitely the right guidance, and the right things will come to me as far as how to get there and how to continue to keep building that bridge. But I don't want my folks to get left behind. And that's my thing, right? That's my thing. And yes, we have wind turbines. Yes, we have a train that's coming. Yes, we have an entire $5 million pier build that's coming. Yes, but the culture is here, right? And we need to, you know, a lot of us think like the choices you really do make today, they do shape tomorrow. Like that was ingrained in all of our New Bedford High School, you know. I remember they had to say it over the PA every day. Where then I was like, you know, that makes sense at some point, you know. But it's like, but it's true. So the what next for me is like, how can I really start to dig my heels in on why I'm here and the economic build? Like, what does that really mean for Brittany Ganetto? So I'll say it, where you can find me,
Yeah.
Newbie Cleaning. My website is www.new-cleaning.com, or you can reach me at 508-974-4815. If you are looking to purchase a home, which I don't know if everyone's listening, right? New Bedford definitely just gave a $25,000 credit for you to be able to purchase a home. So purchase a home, sell your home. I don't know, but I can help you with that too. Definitely can give me a call, 508-817-1893. I like to separate the two. I'm a very organized person. But you can also find me on IG. You can also find me on Facebook, newbiecleaning.com.
Wow. Brittany, I am so happy and honored to have you as my guest. I'm so proud of you. And, you know, you have an open invitation to come on my show anytime you want. Anything you're doing, hit me up. We're going to be good. And again, thank you for coming on my show. You are blessed. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Bless you as well.
And folks, stay tuned because I got another show coming on with Shane Harris, and he's an actor, policeman. Our new Bedford is coming on next. So again, I want to thank my guest, Brittany Ganetto. She is the bomb. Yo, stay tuned. I'll be putting out the video so y'all can check her out. Uh, God bless you, Brittany. Have a great day, y'all. I gotta stay on because I got another guest coming on. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Blessings.
Yes. Ooh. Folks. What a great guest she was, Brittany Ganetto. And now I'm waiting on my next guest, who we're gonna see if we can get in. Hold on, folks. We'll get it going. We'll get it going. Uh, we have key. Next guest. Next guest is waiting. Waiting. While we're waiting on that, let's see. We got. We're back here. Well, we're back here waiting. Um, Folks, that was a great interview with Brittany Ganetto. Sometimes I go around and, as I do my show, and I'm always looking for guests and local uh, personnel, and you come across people like Brittany. I had no idea who she was, and you see all that she does and all that she encompasses, and now she's about uh, preparing jobs for others and homeless and uh, mothers to be or mothers, brand new mothers and stuff like that. So it's great. That's why I love doing this show because it is a sports show now. Don't get me wrong. And the comment, oh, don't let me stop about the draft. But anyway, I like to have a diversity of guests come on my show, and it's been an honor. And given the platform that I have to be able to do what I do, it's just a blessing. And we're waiting on Shane Harris. I'm not going to tell too much about him, but he's a police officer who's up and doing big time movies. I'm talking big time. I'm not big time movies. And right now we're waiting on him to come on. He hit me up and said he's waiting on the link. I don't know. We're going to possibly be able to get him. And if we don't, we always can reschedule because that's kind of what we do on the podcast world. Ask JJ Reddick. But since we got him on, and since I am uh, presenting my sports corner with a Conn Man gear, number one. Number two, well, I'm gonna give a little. Since we are a sports talk network and sports wave network, I'm gonna give you my take on the NBA draft, the most recent one. I think. Do you know who I think benefited the most? If you really want to look at it from my old age perspective, is the one that went to San Antonio. You want me to tell you why? I forgot his name. I can't pronounce his name because I got dementia. But he's with, and again, I pronounce my names wrong. I call him the center for the rookie of the year for San Antonio. And if those of you know me, I have a high time pronouncing names. But he's rookie of the year, and he's going to be with the new drafted guard, and I think he's 20, and the guard's 19. Now they're going to build around onto whatever his name is. I call him Boo Boo, whatever his name is, and they're going to build around him. And with the point guard, I think that's going to be effective for like 10, 12 years to come. I think they're going to build around him and at low salary money as well. So I think that was one of the biggest things. I think the Lakers, I can't say my Lakers because I get in trouble. But the Lakers did very well with connect. God, why do these have all these damn hard names? Connect, whatever his name is. He's a bona fide shooter of 6'5", 6'6". I like the way he plays. And I think him and Reeves are going to get along real well. I think, and he's a shooter, which we all know that the new head coach of the Lakers is a shooter. And I think he's going to be precise. Now, you're going to be like, yeah, Mike, what's up, Mike? What up with Bronny? What, folks, I think he's going to be a serviceable player. Maybe not this year. I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be very, from a financial standpoint, he's going to be all right. Will he go to the G League? I don't know. Do I think he should? First of all, I don't think he should be drafted at all. I think he should become an undrafted free agent, which he probably still would end up with the Lakers. But anyway, I just don't like the fact that Sir James, and I'm a LeBron fan, went to the decision to be able to pick up JJ Redick as a coach, his son. And it just doesn't give a good look. And for the fact that the Lakers were like, well, he had no decision making in the coaching process or the picks. We all know the deal. We all know we all know. Let's come out and be correct. It ain't the first time it's happened. We've had other teams make. Look at the Knicks. Look at the background of the Knicks. Check out the way that went. And not only that, check out the Cowboys and New England, and you can go on and on and on. So there is, hey, it's your family member. You want them to do well, and you do what you got to do. I don't have a problem with it, but a lot of people do. I think that Bronny is. They say he can't play. That's not true. He's very athletic. He can shoot. He can play. He had a very major heart issue. I think he's going to be able to perform better. Some players perform better. And you don't think his dad is going to have him doing the same routine that worked for him? You don't think he's going to have the same physical pieces and things to make him better? You don't think his dad is going to ensure that he's going to get the best that anyone can get? So I think he may not be NBA ready yet, but I think he'll be a serviceable guy in about 2 or 3 years. That very well impressed me. I like the fact about Edie. People turn Edie's a big 7'3". I like him. I like the fact that they got him. He's going to be very serviceable because all you got to do is be a rim protector. If you look at the NBA, the way the landscape is right now, every team does the same damn thing. If you notice, every game, check it out. Ball comes up. You got a ball carrier, ball handler, whomever, whether it be Luka, whomever. Ball comes up. Big man comes up, sets a pick, and roll, pick and pop, pick and roll, and go to the baseline. It's the same exact offense. Every team, copycat league, every team does the same damn thing. So what you want to do, if it was me, now here I am, old as dirt, what I would do is play more zone. I would play more zone. First of all, it would keep your big man out of foul trouble. Number two, I would go 1-2-2. Because if you have a great point guard, like Ja Morant or some, you would eliminate them being able to penetrate. That's number one. I don't want to give you too much of my knowledge. But anyway, because I ain't going to try to be like J.J. Redick. But I've been around the block for a while. I know what I know. And, because the NBA is allowed to use zones, I would use more zones. Because something? If spacing is so big, man, it disrupts that. Because you don't know, and they have so many pick and roll up. Look at Steph Curry. Look what he goes to when you go man to man. Look how many picks and if you go zone, guess what? It eliminates that. It eliminates all that. Now you're just gonna have communication. You're gonna have good zone players who can play zone. I'll tell you what, I'll be damned. I'm gonna go man to man against Steph Curry. Ain't happening. He got too many picks. And why you're not going to win. Now you play zone, you spread the zone, whether it be a 1-2-2, 2-3, boxing one, boxing. There's other ways. And then let me tell you something real quick. When I was in college, right, we had this one team there was crazy. And our assistant coach came up with this defense called check this out, amoeba. Now, if you know anything about science, you know about the amoeba. It expands and it goes, and you really don't know where it's coming from. And we had only one game, but it worked to perfection because the opposing team had no idea what it was. It wasn't a 1-2-2, or it's a 2-3, things of that nature. That's what I think a lot of these NBA teams need to know, because you fall back on that man-to-man. You got people who are going to get exposed. You saw what Luka happened; he got exposed. NBA scouts, they know what to do. Because they scout and they know what your weaknesses are. And okay, we're going to attack him. We're going to make moves to make it to our benefit. But if you exactly watch and learn, the game is not that difficult. I wouldn't make it that. Man, I would not do that. Because the rules allow, take advantage of the rules. I would be manipulating zones. And know something? Man-to-man, it's easy for the offenses to expand the offense, and that's why you see open jump shots. Because what happens when you have man-to-man, you open up the defense, and you penetrate, and you kick it out because you got to defend, and the wings are open, and bang, bang, bang. If you look what happens, that's what happens. I'm old school. I know what I know. And It was a great year. And, I'm not. I'm very. Y'all know I'm not a Celtics fan at all, but I don't dislike the Celtics players. I just dislike the history of Boston. How the hell can you have a Larry Bird statue before Bill Russell? But other than that, I have no issue with the Celtics, and I'm getting heat. I'm a referee. I referee 4 nights a week, and I'm getting blasted because the Celtics won, and I'm here in the Boston, New Bedford, Mass area, so I'm getting my heat, which is good. I mean, it's good for Boston. It's good because it's been a while, and I won't buy a book. I won't even say the name. I really don't even want to say the name. But anyway, I think the NBA was very good this year. I think next year, and they talked about the draft being that bad. I don't know. There's a couple. You got Clint, whatever his name is. Again, I'm English. I don't know how to pronounce these damn names. But you got Klingon, whatever his name is. He's going to be valuable. So Edie's going to be very good. You got a lot of good big men coming in. You got a lot of people from France coming in. I think the guards are really good. I think you got some great shooters. You got the guy from Kentucky. How many people you know come off the bench and get drafted third? How many? And then you got my boy, Kulik, out of Rhode Island. His dad, I played against his dad. I repped his dad's game. And look at him now. He's going right with the Knicks. I think he's a perfect fit. I think he's going to be great. And I'm very happy and excited for him. And there's a lot of people. And then Carter from Providence College. He went with Sacramento. I think he's going to be a good fit with them as well. And I thought the NBA draft was very good. I mean, they were saying it was just so bad. And next year, because you got Cooper, Slag, whatever his name is. You got Cooper coming in next year after 1 year. Who knows? I mean, 6'10", great player. You don't know. But I thought the draft was very well. Now, I think the summer league begins July 8th, if I'm correct. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Obviously, we haven't been able to get a hold of my guest, who was Shane Harris. We have to reschedule. Shane Harris was is a New Bedford cop, police officer. And somehow, which we were going to get into, he had the opportunity to become an actor on major movies out of New Bedford. And I wanted to get him on. I saw him on the Paul Santos show, and I'm like, wow, that's great. Because, see, a lot of people don't know. We have a lot of talent in this area. And you got B-Mags with WNB1. He's doing his thing, getting guests and exposing people. You got Paul Santos show. You got Charlie Perry. And you got me. So, I mean, we're trying to do our best to, try to acknowledge those that are around here doing some great things. And I think it's a blessing that we have the individuals who are doing great things, and you have us who have the platform to do that. So, again, it's about 6:15. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get Shane on, but, there's a tendency, we have to reschedule. Oh, we had a great guest, by the way, Kim Tavar. Oh, she was fantastic. Unfortunately, again, with technology, something about my Chrome went off. I don't know. I know on, off. I'm old school. But she was on. She's a tremendous singer, and she'll be coming on again. Next week, we're going to be off July 4th weekend. We got the big Cape Verdean. Y'all know what that is. We Cape Verde Independence Day Parade and the festivities, basketball, shootout, the whole nine. So it's going to be off the hook. So I will not be on next Friday. I may be incoherent. I may be speaking 18 different languages. But we'll bounce back the following Friday. We have outstanding guests. Donnie Brown from Providence College coming up. I'm still waiting on Nate Archibald, yo. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to come. It's going to come. And I'm going to tell you folks, out here in the South Coast, we've been debating about who is the best point guard. And we've been going through some stuff, and I've been getting some heat. But I tell you what I tell you. I know what I know. I've been around. I'm 64 years old. I've had the pleasure of being in the presence of Mr. Sam Jones, Red Auerbach, Dr. J, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, So I kind of know what I know. And some folks don't know, but they think they know. But anyway, I'm going to try to put a little bit to rest on my upcoming shows. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm refereeing 4 nights a week. So, due to my producer who always told me, hey, Mike, chill out. You're doing too many shows. I'm normally only doing one on Friday, but sometimes because of my guest availability, I might have to pull in two. And of course, my producer, Key Williams, who's the best of the best, she's like, okay, we can do this. And unfortunately, I'm ahead up with Shane Harris. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm just was very glad to get in my first guest today because I had no idea. Brittany, what a great thing she's doing. What a great person. And she's not only doing for herself, but the community, creating jobs, creating opportunities. And it's a great thing. And, I'm glad that I have the platform to be able to do this and promote her, not promote, yeah, well, I guess you can call it promote what she's doing. It's a great thing. And I'm not going to stay too much longer. I was waiting for Steve. He said he didn't get the link, but you know what I usually do. I've had this issue with a few people, and we'll get him back on. It's not a big deal. I'm sure you guys rather hear him than me, but I was happy to at least be able to get one of my guests on, and I want to thank Brittany for coming on. Sometimes you never know. I had no idea she was like that, and it was a great, great, great show. And folks, for those of you who are tuning in to see Shane Harris, we'll make it happen. We got Eddie Rodericks, the head coach of New Bedford High. He's out in Florida now. He's coming on. We got Donnie Brown from Providence College. He said he got a lot to say. He was when the Big East was the Big East. We got him as well. We're going to have my man, Sweet Al. We're going to have him. We're going to have some other guests come on. And, I'm just blessed. I'm blessed. I don't know how some of the people come on my show. I just keep it real. And the key is, folks, even though I'm talking right now, the key I wish all these podcasters would learn. It ain't about you talking. It's about your guests. It's about your listening. You see? Who wants to hear me talk for a damn hour? It's about your guests. Focus on your guests and not on you. You're going to be there for however long. Your guests might only be there for 1 hour or 2 hours. Focusing on your guests. Let them have their roses or flowers. You're going to have yours every day you come on. So that's the key. But that's my last goal for the night. And I wish I'll contact Shane. Best believe we'll do it. I don't know about next week because it's Cape Verdean Independence Day Recognition Week. I'm going to be celebrating. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of people and taking a lot of pictures with a lot of celebrities. Matter of fact, tomorrow, folks, you better check it out. We are celebrating the great group, the Tavares. They're going to be having their own avenue named after them. For those folks, well, who the hell are Google, download the group Tavares. They're from New Bedford as well as Providence. I think the ceremony is 11 o'clock down here in New Bedford, where they're going to be honored with Tavares Way. And then after that, they got to go to Providence. And it's going to be called Tavares Way in Providence, Rhode Island. That's how great this group was. Grammy Award winners. And I think I'm going to stop in there. I may go down Money Park and, shoot them up a little bit. Not that kind of shoot up. I'm talking about basketball shoot up. And, I just want to thank again the Sports Wave Network and Sports Con with the Conn Man, and of course my producer, Key Williams. And for those of you who are looking forward to seeing Shane Harris, don't worry about it. We'll hook it up. It's not a big deal. We'll hook it up. And folks, may y'all have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'm about to chill. I'm not feeling very good, but I do what I got to do. But anyway, y'all stay safe. God bless. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And God bless you. Take care, y'all. Peace out.